Happy Valentine's Day. This is the Stock Market Investor Life, and today we're going to talk about the internet. But before that, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal Weekend, February 13 to 14, 2021. And it's also about the Lunar New Year kicks off, shadowed by the coronavirus. And as we know it, Lunar New Year is a Chinese New Year, but surprisingly, their picture was taken from a Manila Chinatown temple last Friday. So this video is from the Philippines. It's a Chinese New Year, and it's quite surprising to see a picture of a Chinese New Year celebration from the Manila Chinatown. And it's good to know at least they took a picture. On the other hand, um, we can also see that a lot of people are coming out of their houses, going to different places, and including the Manila's Chinatown Temple. And there's economy moving on despite the pandemic. So we have here different news and interesting Valentine topics in the Wall Street Journal Weekend, particularly the US migration grants, and also about Trump's second impeachment, which result will be perhaps written on the Wall Street Journal tomorrow, since this one is a weekend journal. And on the news about the exchange, we can see a lot of issues or topics against the clash of the tech giants between Apple and Facebook, and the effects of the pandemic to different restaurants, and also, of course, the price action that took place in the last trading day before the Chinese New Year. Now, it's very relevant nowadays to look at internet as a tool to execute buying and selling and all this price monitoring in the stock market. I've also read about social investing, all these people talking about how the price moves while they are online. And though in the Philippines, it's more of a matter of how we buy or sell, still the speed of the internet, the access to signal, and the availability of a good internet promo for a lesser cost, better benefits, they're always welcome for full-time investors, especially investors of the stock market, since we do things online. And today I'm going to share about how we use our internet in the Philippines regarding our promos and our Wi-Fis. So for our internet, we're using Globe Pocket Wi-Fi. This is very reliable compared to this as of our experience during the lockdown. So it says this Globe at Home is 2 times faster or stronger, signal wider coverage than the pocket Wi-Fi. But based on our experience, this one is more reliable. This is the Globe Tattoo. This is actually, we bought it 10 years ago and still working. It has a SIM port inside, and during the lockdown, this is very functional. It served us, even though the signal during that time, March 2020 to April 2020, was very slow. And that time, it's very difficult to monitor the stocks. And if you're using two or more uh, laptops or any other gadgets, the Globe Pocket Wi-Fi is really functional. It also has a SIM port, so we move the SIM from one uh, port to another. And these two, I think they are just around 1,000 pesos each. Compared to this one, which we bought for 199 pesos. Although last year, they put this on sale for, I think, 999, so that's 1,000 less. And they gave a lot of free gigabytes for HomeServe 199. But in reality, it's not running. So we experimented on different promos, and up to now, the best promo that we have, instead of using 199 per week, is a 90 pesos 90 peso promo for 8 gigabytes per week. I'll show you how it works. Asterisk 143 hashtag. And then you have a balance of 90 pesos. Go to Go Promos. And then the Go 90. So enjoy 8 gigabytes for 7 days. And then subscribe. So you are now registered to Go 90. That's our promo. So you plug it in a laptop so it does not go low bat. From time to time, we remove it. We're using the Globe Pocket Wi-Fi, and I'll show you how fast the internet is in the Philippines. So we are uploading a 20-minute video in YouTube, and it says that to be able to upload it, this is how fast it is. We need 1 hour and 20 minutes for a 20-minute video. So while it took us 1 hour and 20 minutes to upload a 20-minute YouTube video, it took us about 23 minutes to download 17 MB Wall Street Journal. So that's how it looks like when it comes to uploading and downloading. Now, I am showing you our eldest daughter's investment portfolio. As you can see, she bought ECP, Easy Call Communications Philippines. Now, ECP is also a telecommunications company or an internet provider. So I will just, at this moment, just try to explore. It's just like an exploratory of exploratory navigation of data to just assess the weaknesses and vulnerabilities of her investment. But it's okay. She's the one who chose this. She's the one who executed this. And her goal is to make money out of it. But then again, when we look at the market information for the sectors, you will be navigating through different sectors in the Philippine Stock Exchange, and one of which is the telecommunications. Now, there are different telecommunications company in the Philippines, and one of it is the, well, GCP. Wow, it's in the other services. Okay, now it's in the other services. Now, when we look at ECP, we will know its profile here. What is ECP? EasyCall Communication Philippines was incorporated in 1989 to engage in paging industry. It later evolved to engage in businesses, so they're related to outsourcing, information technology, small aperture terminal, and then later it was renamed and it was listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Now, I don't know if you recall the beeper that we have in the 1990s. Well, when one is too young to have one, but during that time, that beeper was the Easy Call and it's very popular, and perhaps during that time in the 90s, it was a profitable business. However, now let's look at it from a standpoint of the current situation of the company. First, let's look if it's giving dividends. Now, in the record of dividends of ECP, in 1992, when the beeper was popular, and 1993, they gave a cash dividend of 50 cents, 1 peso, until they started to, yes, in 1995, they even gave stock dividend while giving the cash dividend. So you can see that it's profitable from 1992 to 1999. But in the year 2000, when there was the emergence of cellular phones, texting, and emails from the internet, it started to dwindle and not give dividends. So it stopped giving dividends in the year 2000, when beeper was no longer the major or primary source of telecommunication. So how do they survive? So as you may have noticed, these are the data about them. And let's look at the details of it in their other reports. So to know more about the company in which our eldest daughter invested on, we go to the edge.pse.com.ph to find the company announcements and official financial reports. As you may have noticed, ECP gives quarterly reports and annual reports, and you can get this for free, unlike other stock markets. And we can download this to read more about them. This is the latest ECP annual report 2019. The next one will be around April. The first thing you'll notice is that it is a very long annual report. It has 249 pages. And usually when you have this kind of long reports, you have to really look at what's important to know what's going on in the company. And I've read that from page 3 to, let's say, there are a lot of thoughts and history about their company. They talk about it for like 8 pages. Only to go to the, I think for investor would be the more relevant, who are their competition and who are the customers. And there's only one paragraph for this very important data, the customers, where they get the money. And you will be surprised that they only have 13 sites nationwide for a listed company that claims that it is an internet provider. The most important thing that you should consider is that how many sites do you have nationwide, and who are your customers? What are the customer population is? and how will you earn from them. So they put so much energy trying to present their company, trying to talk about their grand history, but they talk less about their customers, which I think is the more important part of an annual report. By the way, they talk about their competitions too. And they have included, of course, the bigger providers of the internet, which is PLDT and Globe Smart and Globe. They also talk about another listed company, which is TBGI. And recently, there's another emerging company, internet provider, which is Dito, which plans to make around 1,500 sites. So how will you compete if you only have 13 sites to this internet provider giants? Well, in fact, even Dito needs around 50 billion of its 257 billion to come up with a lot of sites, and Globe needs 70 billion. And if you will look at the asset of this company, it's just 250 million pesos. ECP only has around 250 million pesos. So how can you have a capex that could provide more internet sites, especially now that they have a negative income? Now, take note, they only have 13 sites nationwide. And what they have for a listed company, they only have 24 employees. Why only 24 employees if they want to expand? They said that there were no dividends declared in 2019 because they have negative earnings or negative retained earnings of the company. So this company has a negative retained earnings and cannot provide dividends. But if you look at how they allocate their resources, they have a general and administrative expense of 14.47 million. And again, they only have 24 employees and their operation seems to be minimal, but they spend this much. Now, if you look at another data, so they have a 120.45 decrease in their net earnings. And what's more surprising is that for a listed company, they only have a total cash of 15.75 million pesos.